Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes, and I want it all.
Hello and welcome to Craftmas Day 18. I am really excited for this project. Unfortunately, I missed some footage. So I thought a couple times I was filming and I wasn't. So that is a downside of me doing videos like this, just turning my camera on and doing my thing, is that it just sometimes I don't get footage that I mean to get, and that totally happened with this project, and I'm totally bummed. So I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. So yesterday I spent some time in my studio cleaning up, pulling all my Christmas paper. I'm preparing for all of the new spring catalog stuff to come out. And so I thought it was a really good opportunity to do these projects here. These are treats for my husband's work. And so I have my big trimmer out. The reason I'm using it is because I cut down all of the rest of my Christmas paper. And that is going to be in a video later in the week. I'm going to show some of the new stuff and how I prepare my studio for that. But that's why I'm using my really big trimmer. It's a Carl trimmer and it can cut a lot of paper at once. It's what I use to do my paper shears with. So what I'm doing with this paper here is I'm cutting it down, and I end up cutting this design in half again. So the first design that you saw, I cut it ends up being 4 3/4. And then this piece here, and because I'm doing it on this big trimmer, I kind of mess up on it. But I wanted to cut it in half and didn't realize I wasn't quite doing it in half. It ends up working out in the end. Basically, you need 2 pieces of designer paper. So you need one that is maybe a little bit bolder, and then one that is a little bit lighter, because you're going to layer these together, and we're making hot cocoa packets is what we're doing. And these are a really easy treat to do for, like, I needed to do 12 of them, so I knew that this would be a really easy way to do 12 of them. All right, right here is where I thought I was filming. The piece of footage I missed was right before this. So this is all of them complete. And then I'm going to jump to a photo to show you how I completed all of these. So I took one of our plastic sleeves that our die cuts come in. So if you get die cuts from Stampin' Up, you know they come in these really sturdy sleeves. Now I store mine on magnet sheets and I put them in a thinner plastic envelope, but I always keep these sleeves. And I use them for other organizational projects around my studio, but also you can make gifts out of them. And I've done this in the past and they work out so well. So I trimmed it down. It ends up being about 5 inches, and it's right below, there's a slit in the original envelope where the flap folds down, and I cut it right below that. So I'm sorry I don't have a photo of the before. So I cut it right before that. Then I take my corner rounder, it's a corner chomper by We Are Memory Keepers, so it can cut through heavy duty stuff, and I round the corners because they are rather sharp. And then what I do is I add that designer paper. I wrap it all the way around. I just use a strong adhesive. I use my ATG gun because that's a pretty aggressive adhesive and it goes really fast. So I wrap the one design around it, which is the thicker design. And then I take the lighter design, so the design that has the white in the paper, and I wrap that around the middle as well. And then that is my pocket. And then inside, you're going to see the next clip I have, you'll see what I put inside of the Coco packet. Again, I totally apologize that I missed that footage of putting all of that together. So here I have all 12 of them. Now the hot cocoa packets that I like to use, I showed them, but I obviously wasn't filming, are these Land O'Lakes. And our little tiny grocery store here in our town actually has a whole display of them, and I can buy them individually. But usually I just on Amazon get a big packet of them. They're my favorite hot cocoa packets, and I've already used a couple this season. And I like them because they're a little prettier than like the Swiss mix, but you could totally do the Swiss mix too if you were doing them for like the kids at the school or something like that. that. So I put a candy cane in there, and then I also put the Christmas card in there. And so I've done this. I did it for his work when he was towing as well, which was really nice. It's not a very like fluffy gift. So like with my husband, when he worked towing, he worked with a bunch of dudes, right? And so they do not want some fluffy something or another, right? So this is a nice gift that you could do for guys. So he's currently at a security company, and he works with both male and female. And so these work well for that too. So I stick the candy cane in there, and it's so funny. There's more footage of me stuffing these than there is of me making them. So again, I apologize. This doing voiceovers and filming this way is so different for me. And it definitely can be a little bit harder, but there are some perks to it. So I'm just trying to get used to filming a different way. So I'm going to put all of these together. I need to go and get more hot cocoa. I meant to do that yesterday when I made these, but I just ran out of time. But I need to go pick up a couple more hot cocoa packets, but that's all I'll have left to do. And then my husband can fill out the Christmas cards. I don't know any of the people that he works with, so I'm not filling them out. I got into my stash and got an old Stampin' Up! Stamp set that had some sentiments in it. I just happened to have organized all of my retired stuff, so it worked out good because I had seen this. So I picked two. I wasn't sure which would fit. I didn't think the From Our Home to Yours would fit on the circle die cuts I picked out. It turns out they did, and that's actually the one I wish I would have used. I feel like it is a little bit more fitting for these gifts. And so I'm gonna stamp these all at once. And when I'm mass producing items, whether it's a swap card or they're gifts like this is often how I do it. I just lay all of the die cuts out, and then I'm going to stamp them all at once. The key is to just, for me, is to make sure they're straight on my cutting mat. Like those square dies aren't quite even. I totally lost my train of thought. So I just make sure that they're lined up with the mat, and then I can stamp pretty straight. And I'm using cherry cobbler, so I'm just going to go in and I'm going to stamp a bunch of these. They're super easy. The paper sort of sticks to the stamp as you stamp it, so I can pick it up and move it to the pile that's already done. A lot of the times you have to be careful with cherry cobbler ink, because it does take cherry cobbler ink a little bit of time to soak into the paper and actually dry, and there's been a few times where I've smeared my stamping doing this. And then I changed over, like I did the Merry and Bright on some, and then I realized from your home to your home, from our home to yours is what that stamp says. I realized that one fits a little bit, fits the gift, and it fits on the circle, so I go ahead and I use that one more. I really liked this stamp set. I'm a sucker for big sentiments, and this is why. They just tie everything together. You could give the gift exactly like it is. I didn't cut this part out of the camera shaking. You could give the gift just like this. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But adding the stamped piece, I think, pulls it all together. Now, I'm using foam to pop it up. The other thing that I've done in the past is I've wrapped a little bit of ribbon around the actual pocket. That always looks pretty too. I don't have any Christmas ribbon. I don't have enough Christmas ribbon to do around all of these, or I probably would have added ribbon, because that's my go-to, is to add ribbon. And then I also add all the adhesive to all the pieces at once. So I really do this in a batch process method, where I cut all of the plastic pieces at once. I round all the corners at once. I cut all the designer paper at once. I attach all the designer paper at once. And I don't stop. I don't complete one from start to finish. I just do it in batches, because it goes a lot faster when you're mass producing. And this is nothing. 12 treats is nothing. I mean, when my kids were all in elementary school, I would do 70 plus treats every holiday. And I even did them for St. Patrick's Day, like smaller holidays. And if you do them in a mass production way, where you're working on one element at a time, it's really not that hard. I promise. So here is a couple of them that I'm just putting the sentiment on. And like I said, I'll go get more hot cocoa packets and then we'll put those in there. And then my husband will sit and he'll probably just, you know, write a simple message. There's 12 of them. He'll be fine doing it. He can do it during football Sunday, this Sunday. So, or today when you're watching this, that's what he'll be doing. So this one, I just wanted to show you that my paper was a little bit short. And so I wrapped it so that the gap was in the front of the packet. And then I'm just going to use one of those sentiments to cover it and nobody will ever know. And the truth is that these will probably just get thrown in the trash. They'll take the cocoa out, they'll take the candy cane out, they'll read the card and the packet will go in the trash. And I'm okay with that. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and I will be back the rest of the week to wrap up Craftmas and do some projects with you. On the screen right now are 2 other projects that you can check out if you would like. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you can hit that like button, that would really help me out. So I appreciate that. So I will chat with you tomorrow in my next video. Thanks so much, everyone.